are voice actors. Yay! It. I'm gonna add music. Dun, 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 dun. That'd be nice. Ooh, I
I
like. I
mean,
did not notice your fancy green nails.
my
That's
goblin,
cool.
my goblin nails. Yeah,
They're even like shaded lighter to
yeah,
darker.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Little goblin
awesome.
action.
Very nice. Well, hello everyone. Good to see you all. If you're just joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so when we do go live,
Mhm.
you get notified. Also, please, as always, post in the chat. Tell us where you're from because not only do we always love you to do that, but today is what's today, Gabby?
Forum
Forum
Friday.
Friday.
Yay!
Forum Friday. Today is the day that you come and you get to ask us any question that you want.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it, do our very best to answer it. This
Yep,
is an excellent time to
it
do that.
is. It
Yes, yes,
is.
yes.
So
Uh,
let's while we're waiting for questions to
mm-hmm.
come in, I guess let's talk about some of what's happening at the academy. Let's talk
Mm,
about this was our first week of the brand new semester. It was
yes.
smashing.
Oh my goodness, it was
I think
amazing.
we had some incredible sessions.
Yes.
And what's on tap for next week? What do we have happening?
Well, it's really cool because this semester we have really changed things around to where we've made each individual class, we've added a lot of specialty classes,
Mm-hmm.
and that's allowed us to bring a lot more variations to the education. So each week is even more impactful. So next week, right, we have marketing 101, very exciting. We've got
Mm-hmm.
branding on the deck, and Gabby is heading that up. I always think it's amazing because the coolest thing about this, well, I think it's cool. One, Gabby's an all-star and branding is her thing, and I think
I
it's going to
love
be
it.
amazing. Two,
Love
I
it
have
so
taught
much.
marketing forever at the academy, and I love it. But I'm so happy that you are heading up marketing this semester, and I get to be, and I'm doing acting 201 next week. So that's our advanced acting, focusing on utilizing improvisation to grow as a performer, especially in voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
So because in reality, we improv pretty much every time we step up to the mic. People think improv is just coming up with words, but that's not true. Improv is also coming up with the emotion,
Yeah.
coming up with how you did your acting decisions that you make on the fly because we don't get weeks or months to practice, for a script that we're given. We have
Or
to be
even minutes
for
sometimes.
minutes, right? We gotta go. We gotta get it done right then and there. So, you could argue that a huge portion of what we do is all improv. So,
It's
and you're
true.
doing branding.
It's true. And I love it. And one of the things that I think is so important is making the distinction between marketing, branding, and selling, right?
Yes.
Because so many people now in modern business, marketing, 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 marketing. But what they're really doing is they're getting marketing and selling confused or kind of they're smooshing them together and they're not. They are separate things.
Yes.
And so I think this semester we're going to have a real, just an amazing chance to dissect that and look at it in all its parts for people. And I think that's going to be a big help.
I love it, and what you said is to me, I think the other day too is so impactful about, the reality is everything starts with your brand,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
what do you even know to sell
That's
until you
it.
can identify your brand?
Yeah, for sure. You
Um,
have to be able
mhm.
to like really pinpoint what you're selling, what about your voice is your primary objective to sell, but also who's buying it. Because it's
Right.
not just enough to say, well, voiceover clients, that's a big wide world, friends. We gotta get a little more specific than that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we have I believe our script workout next week.
Ooh,
Is
nice.
that is
Okay.
that next week? And we do have our, I believe it's our corporate. Now I remember, like, maybe make sure my calendar is up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we've got script workout next week as
Yeah.
well, and we've got Bonnie on deck for character.
Oh, that's
So
gonna be
our
so
character voice
good.
actor specialist, Bonnie Williams, which
Mhm.
she has been just swamped in a
She's
huge
always
project this week.
she's a busy girl.
But we're very excited about having her and doing her character work. I might even go to that one too myself. I mean, the wonderful thing about education, that's what I love about education and what we do at VO Journey Academy in general is I've always felt like I was a lifelong learner. I love
Yeah.
being a lifelong learner and continue to educate. And it's a passion. So, it doesn't matter where you are. And that's why when, even the best actors that you see or even the most, highest paying actors, you still see them going to acting classes. They're still always working on their craft. We will always work on being better professionals.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so I love it. So yes, so
Mhm.
check us out. Just because the semester started, right? We're just getting going. This is a great time to join. You haven't missed anything because we archive everything. So by joining, you can catch right back up where we are, and it's easy peasy.
And
So
now too,
yeah.
because we're taking some of the aspects and some of the specialties, right, and we're breaking them into only, 6 classes once a month, that makes a big difference too in terms of being able to
Mhm.
follow through with those classes and retain
Mhm.
information. And I think that's so important.
Thank you for bringing. That was a
Yeah.
massive change we made this
Oh my
year.
gosh, and
Make-
it's such a good
Yeah,
one.
I'm so excited about it. We used to do all of these classes every single week, and I found that what it was just for all of us, it was so much overload,
Mm,
and we couldn't offer actually more classes,
yeah.
right? Like we couldn't offer more special classes. Like we've added the tech class is still coming. I mean, that was a big. We added tech class. We even have an orientation for new people. If you're
Mhm.
brand new in the industry, and like you're brand new, like you were like me, and everything just scares the snot out of you. We want, it's important to have that orientation type of class.
It is.
So yeah, very excited about all that. So
Well,
check
and
it.
the
Yeah,
orientation really too, it serves multiple purposes. It's
yeah,
not just an orientation into the industry, it's an orientation into the academy. It's
right.
the what, the
Hmm.
where, the who, the how, so that you feel empowered and you're able to navigate through your school the way you
Yes.
should be able to. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It can be overwhelming joining, and even via
Anything.
Training Academy because we have such a large amount of information and education. So, the orientation class that Gabby and I decided it was essential that we tag team back and forth on because we need to it's nice to have someone to walk you through and say, hey, this is what's over here. This
Yeah,
is a great place to start. This is how you're here. This is
right.
our Discord channel. I mean, we were joking earlier today too because we had another meeting together, and there's still things I'm learning about Discord, and I didn't even know a Discord existed before I started.
And it was this
Yeah,
student that introduced us to it. It's
exactly.
so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. So that's why the class is super important for all of us. So all
Yeah.
right, well, let's see. We've got people over in the chat. We've got Appaloosa from Tulsa. I love it. I love it. I love it. Strange Storm Cat. That's a cool name. So
She's
Cat from Washington.
yep.
John, say hi, Gavin Anthony.
John,
Loving the first week. John, you are everywhere, my
you're
friend.
a
We love
beast,
having you in.
man. It's the
Love it.
middle of the night in Europe, and no, actually, no, it's not. No, that's not true. It's I guess
No, well, yeah,
afternoon.
not right now. Right now it's 5 there. Well, I think
That's right.
depends on where you are. I guess 5 if you're in the UK.
Yeah.
But the other night in class, there was 2 a.m. Yes. Oh, nice. So we had homework. By the way, too, one thing that's interesting, because what John was talking about is this also has allowed us to give homework and assignments. And, one of the big ones, too, that we're really focusing on is getting everybody involved in Academy Voices, because I
Hmm.
think, that's something truly unique out of any other place out there. Academy Voices is a safe, secure, non worrisome place to get your first job in voiceover. There's no scams there because we run
Yeah.
it. It's run by voice actors. It's going all through us, and you can make money. We're casting it. There's no one else there. I mean, you talk to us, we chat with you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. So that's another exciting, a really exciting thing about, did we published our 360th audiobook.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. And we broke a new record this past month in revenue. So
Amazing.
yeah, I mean, and it's amazing. So very excited about that and for our students. So
300.
so John was doing good. He said he's already done your homework. Good man. Or you read that angry script. There's an achievement. Okay, I would love to know how many Academy members are in Europe. So
Hmm.
this is a really good. Yeah. So I think that we would love to have many more Academy members in Europe. I'm not. I know of maybe. I'll be honest with you. Maybe two or three that I am very familiar with. I know we have one student who's in France.
Mm-hmm.
I know John, you're in the UK. We've had occasional students from Australia. It does, the scheduling is a challenge. I'm not gonna lie about that, right? Because class times. That's one thing we did different this semester, is opened it up with some later scheduling or earlier scheduling. Well, we're on the East Coast, but for our West Coast students, because we have a lot of our coaches now are from the West Coast, so times that are more geared towards West Coast students. But for our Europe students, I think we only have, like I said, I only know of a couple at the moment. I'd love to grow that, so we've been talking about adding a channel for,
John, you
the
might have to become our ambassador.
maybe
I
I
don't
think
know.
so. I think that's a great job for John. Sarah says shout out to Gabby for a killer class last night. Vojo, we didn't talk about
Oh,
Vojo.
thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bojo, our women's group, the sorority. I'm so proud of these ladies. I can't say enough. They're just such a phenomenal group, and one of the big goals for Vojo, like any sorority, is to tap into the expertise and the knowledge base of the members so that we're learning, growing, and sharing together. And yeah, last night we covered Gabby's guide to audio editing. Basically, we went over a lot of different tricks about DAWs, and it was really insightful too, even for me to again to get feedback from some of our ladies and to understand the unique challenges that they're facing. So we had, and it was a big group last night. We had like 15 people, which
That's
is a lot.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is growing. I mean, when we started, there was only a couple people.
Yeah.
So
Like I
it,
think our first session we had 5.
yeah. So I
So,
mean, that's wonderful.
mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. Well, feel free to post your questions in the chat. We did, while you're posting questions or thinking about things you want to ask, we had a great question yesterday
Yeah.
about whether or not it's better to sit or stand while you're recording. I think
It's such a chicken or egg question, you know?
that's right. That's
Right.
right. That is, yeah. I mean, and we probably all remember at least how we started. You know what I mean? Like how we started. And then for me, I know when I started, it was like realization. So, of course, I started with just in front of my computer. And I would imagine most people, maybe a lot of people now, are something from their homes too. That's maybe how they start. Like you're
Mm,
sitting in front of your computer and you kind of build your space sometimes around your computer. There's one way.
right.
And then, and then later on for me, when I discovered, how much I enjoyed standing up performance because I'm a very physical person, because of all my probably acting I've done.
Hmm.
Uh, I do all of my work standing up now.
Yeah.
But when I will admit one thing to you though, if it's a long book, I will get a chair and I'll be like, all right, I'm settling in for this puppy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I have a question. Okay, so this is totally random, but I have a question about when you were narrating the Call of Cthulhu. Did you stand
Stood.
or you stood for the
Stood.
whole thing?
Sure did. Sure did.
That's
Now,
epic right there.
okay. Now, all right, yes. I mean, I agree. I've always been a standing girl. I like the freedom of movement. I also like the there's a certain energy I think you can build up right kinetically when you're standing. You can bounce a little bit, you can keep your blood flowing, you can kind of stay engaged in what you're doing. However, so when I broke my ankle a couple of years back,
Mm,
holy moly, Right? I was the cripple in the booth. It was hilarious. I had a chair for me and I had to prop my leg up. So I had, sort of like a, I don't know, it was very funny. It was like a Barca lounger situation. It's like leaning back in the booth. It was really, really wild. Um,
Well, that's
and
funny.
I think more so than a chair, my preference is if I need to sit, if it's a long thing, it's a stool because a stool still again gives me the range of motion and the feeling of height and it's not you're not slumping.
Right.
You're not getting all slumpy and scoochy.
Right. Which is
But
what they usually put in studios, right? When you're
yeah,
in there, you usually have a stool
usually, but I mean
or a high one of those things that have a chair that sits up. You know what I mean? So
yeah, 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 like a
you
high
know.
back,
Right. Right. Right.
But I gotta say, one of the really cool things about this industry, because it is very accommodating to people with all sorts of disabilities
Yes.
and limitations.
Yes.
I know a lot of voice actors that sit, almost
Absolutely.
exclusively, and it's okay. You figure out how to make that work for you. So at the end of
Absolutely.
the day, it really is personal preference. I don't
Hmm.
think there's a right or a wrong.
Oh, absolutely. I think you can also look at it at another way as well. So you can also look at this from a standpoint of intention.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're sitting and you're relaxing, that gives us a certain type of feeling that will
Mm-hmm.
come out when we narrate, when we speak, right?
That's a great point.
Yeah, when we stand, that and posture, and we were just talking about the high back chairs and stuff. Posture is one of the biggest ways to immediately change your acting, your delivery,
Mm-hmm.
and sitting and standing plays a huge part in that. So if you are purposefully, right, you're being intentional about your acting and trying to use outward expression to bring out inward emotion. And this is kind of a phrase that we use when we're talking about, really studying acting.
Yeah.
Posture is the first place we start. So sitting, even relaxing, hunching over a little bit, this gives you kind of here's per example, whenever you see someone reading a children's book to a group of children, right? And they want to be um, gentle and nice and
Mhm.
inviting to the children. They're sitting down there in a relaxed sometimes, their legs crossed, they're just relaxed. When you see people instructing a group, all right, when you see people or even reading a book, doing a book reading for a group of people where it's intense and stuff, you'll always see them standing, right? You always see that posture, and so you can also look at it from an intention standpoint.
Santa doesn't stand for a reason. Kids would be terrified.
That's
Yeah.
a that's a
Yeah.
good point.
They'd be so
That's
scared. It's
hilarious.
imposing.
That's funny.
Um,
You don't see scarecrows sitting. Now that you're thinking about that, I'm like,
right?
oh, I wonder.
Right? Isn't that
Interesting.
funny?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yes, I think you're spot
Hmm.
on. You're spot on. I always laugh when you take the words right out of my brain. I'm like, Anthony, get out of there. What are you doing? But yeah, spot on. And the other thing that you want to think about is the sort of passive versus active component of storytelling. Like if you're narrating from a third person, you're a bit more passive because you're on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But if you're first person, you're inside the story. Yeah, different perspective. Also, and something that John mentioned in the comments, airflow, right? Diaphragmatic breathing. This is a big thing. And for some people, it is essential to stand to have their airways open. And for others, if you're well trained, I think it's a little less.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, it really does depend on how much experience you've had with that. I've
Yes.
said many times, if you're in this business, I don't care if you can't sing worth a lick, get some vocal coaching from a singing standpoint and learn about diaphragmatic breathing because it makes a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. It's interesting too because if you come from the stage from an acting standpoint, one of the challenges I had was I was too loud. And I think I made that joke, or it was not a
Yeah,
joke, it was
no, I
real,
remember you talking
right?
about this.
Where for a period of time, I'm not kidding, I took a piece of paper and I cut out the shape of an ear and I cut a hole in it and put it over my microphone. I know that sounds silly, but I'd seen it. I didn't come. I saw it somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but it just for a period of time because I was so loud. Like I would, as an actor, on stage, I was the one they never mic'd. So because I because I was too loud, I didn't need the microphone, right? And so because of that, you're always taught make sure that last person in or the last seat in the house can hear you, so
Yeah.
that you really project. So when I get excited when I'm going, I get louder and louder and louder. Well, in voiceover, I when you first start, you're not sure, you don't know about the intricacies of the micro. I'm looking at my microphone, you can't see it, but the microphone and how we interact with it yet, right? And how loud you are and soft you are, and all of your breathing, all of that comes from your diaphragm. Like perfect example, when you'd play a character, if anybody knows here, when you're doing a character, whether it's for fun or a job, why is it that when you do a character you have to step away, you have to get further away from the mic, you either have to turn on your stuff, right? Because to do the character, we use our diaphragm, we use all of that to have a full, exciting character that we're really trying to. So you're like a whole bunch louder than you typically are when you normally speak, and you're like, why am I so loud when I do that? Right?
This actually got brought up last night in Vojo. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
How many women were asking about levels and how to control them because they
Mm.
feel like they come in too hot, they're
Oh
too
yeah.
loud. And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that this was such an issue for so many. So yeah, we had to talk about kind
Oh
of
yeah.
erring on the side of caution with your
Mm-hmm.
levels, giving yourself
Mm-hmm.
room to increase them versus,
Mm-hmm.
coming in and overmodulating from the beginning. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Oh
very,
yes.
very, I think, yeah, it's a commonality among stage performers and singers for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And the control of our voices. That was another thing that was very new and foreign to me, meaning like when I would record, you might notice this if you're just starting, when you look at the waves on your DAW, they're so different. I'm not gonna use the word violent, but there's so huge peaks and sometimes it's like you're whispering, sometimes you're yelling,
Right.
and because we've not trained ourselves yet to understand the control of volume
Hmm.
when we're narrating. And as you go and you train your voice to do this, the different things you can start to do with your voice is really amazing, but it takes time to learn that. And I think when you're first starting, it's daunting.
Which actually brings me to a fun point. I think I'm going to write a note for Monday
I
and
love
talk
I love this
about.
thing. We always have a little nugget, and we're
I
like, that's
know.
a good one
I think
to
for
talk about
Monday,
next week.
I want to talk about the mic yell and the mic whisper
I love
because
it.
they're such fun techniques that people
Mm,
don't always understand. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to share some things that people can practice. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we've got our topic for next Monday. And listen, we hope you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget, this is the perfect time to join VO Journey Academy. Gabby and I and all the coaches and everybody love to have you there.
We had a
And
super
yes.
meeting like right before we jumped on this call. Well,
Hmm.
live. It's why we were a couple minutes late. We had a phenomenal meeting with all the instructors.
Hmm.
The enthusiasm for what we're doing here is just palpable. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I can't say enough about this group.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Goodbye.